Hi, I'm Andrea Pinkney. Welcome to the Big Picture Live, the show about picture books and how artists make their magic happen. Today we're celebrating creativity with Caldecott winner Vashti Harrison, author and illustrator of one of my all-time favorite picture books, Big. Vashti, welcome to the Big Picture Live. It is wonderful to have you, and congratulations. You have had quite a year.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to share some of my story with you today.
Let's start with that beautiful box over there. Is that the Caldecott Medal?
It is. Would you like to see?
I would love to see it.
Would you like to hold it?
Would I like to hold the Caldecott Medal? Yes, I would.
It's heavier than you would think.
Oh my gosh. I have to ask you, there's this Olympic tradition where you bite on the gold medal, kind of like the gymnast Simone Biles. Are you going to bite on this for us?
I appreciate the comparison. I probably won't bite this one. I do have another medal to show you that maybe I might consider wearing around my neck the way I see the Olympic athletes wear theirs. This is the National Book Award finalist medal. Big was the first picture book to become a finalist for the National Book Award for Young People's Literature, so it is a huge honor. This one I might wear around my neck every once in a while.
This is quite an accessory. Will you do me a favor and just try it on? I want to see how this beautiful National Book Award jewelry looks on you.
What do you think?
Well, that is quite a beautiful necklace. Gold is your color.
I think so.
Gold is you. Can you just tell us a little bit about the making of Big?
Almost all of my books start with drawing. I think I do a lot of my thinking and my writing through my sketching and my doodling. So I brought some of the drawings with me. Would you like to see?
I would love to see.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing them.
This is a really great example of a notebook that I would keep on me at all times where I can just jot down ideas. And these were some of the very first sketches I ever did for this book.
Wow.
They're of the girl sort of trapped in this box. And I wanted to sort of capture this feeling of what it feels like for emotions to feel overwhelming, to feel kind of trapped by other people's labels. I wondered, how does this girl get here and where does she go from there? How does she make more space for herself? So I kept working and developing, and I knew that it would be super powerful to show this character maybe physically opening up the pages to make more space for herself. So I have so many different iterations of the book, sketches and test versions. This is an early test where I used colored pencil, some other tests with chalk pastel.
Wow, she's beautiful. So much energy.
Because there's a very special moment in this book where the character folds out the pages and makes more space for herself, we had to do some tests where we tried to figure out how the gatefold would work. So this was an early test.
Now let me ask you, did you like to draw as a kid?
I definitely loved to draw as a kid. Loved drawing people. I loved drawing clothes and hairstyles. I would flip through magazines and copy all of the clothes and hairstyles that I saw in there. And I definitely get to put that into the work that I do now.
So you do a lot, Vashti. You're kind of a multimedia artist. So talk to us about that. You created the book Big, and you created so many other books, but you've done a lot of other things with art. So if I'm a young person, I'm a student, where do I begin?
That can be overwhelming to be a kid that's so full of ideas and curious about everything. One of the reasons I worked on a book called Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History is because I wanted to fill the book with the stories of all these incredible people who came before us, and each person does something different, but each of their stories is so inspiring and incredible. I wanted to be able to flip through that book and find any person's story that you can identify with and learn about all of these incredible fields of study and the people who came before us.
What I think is amazing, you have a lot of different women, different time periods, and different clothing throughout history. Different hairstyles, different shoes, different hands. If you look at the women, they're telling a story without any words, really. Amazing.
And just like I said, I always loved drawing clothes and hairstyles, so I created a book where I could just draw a bunch of clothes and hairstyles, but also learn about all these incredible people from history.
Well, you are clearly brilliantly creative. Can you help us understand, how do we get to where you are?
Creativity is something that a lot of people think is hard to come by, but really I just think of it as being open to letting the things around you inspire you. I love to take walks and take photographs and get inspired by different people that I see. And then when you don't know where to start, maybe you can turn to a book like Little Leaders or Little Dreamers and learn about different opportunities that exist.
Should we be creative together, maybe?
I feel like we should try drawing because that's where I get all of my best ideas. So I have an activity that I like to do at school visits. Would you want to draw with me?
Yes, I would.
So I have some really fun pink paper here.
Beautiful. Pink paper.
I have some drawing tools. So why don't you start with a nice brown crayon for a brown character we're going to draw.
Sounds good.
And then we'll go over top of it with some black to kind of highlight our lines.
Sounds great. Brown is beautiful, black is beautiful. Let's do it.
Isn't it beautiful? I meet people every day. When I tell them I'm an illustrator, the first thing that they tell me, they say, ugh, I can't draw.
I'm a stick figure
All
person.
I can draw is a
stick figure.
Stick figure.
I'm good at that. I'm brilliantly creative at stick figures.
Well, I think stick figures are actually really useful tools for drawing characters.
Great.
So let's start with a stick figure. A stick figure sometimes looks like this, right? I'm going to move some of the limbs around. I want my character to be in this sort of ballet pose with their arms out and one of their legs out. So I'm just going to change some of those things around. So I've still got my circle. Now I've moved my torso a different direction and my arms are out. Just a little turn. Now it looks like the character is doing something. So I'm going to develop this into a bigger drawing. So I can use that as my guide. And we're going to use shapes that we all know how to draw to recreate this drawing. So we're going to need a circle, we're going to need a square, and we're going to need some triangles. I'm going to recreate my stick figure drawing here with my shapes. So let's start with a circle. And it doesn't have to be a perfect circle.
Okay.
Maybe it'd be helpful if it's a little smushed, so, a little imperfect. Now we're gonna do a square to be the torso of our character.
Okay.
Now, just like my stick figure, this torso is gonna kind of be in a diagonal direction.
Got it.
So you can follow along
A
with me.
diagonal square. Okay.
Maybe it's more like a diamond, but you can tell that it's moving a certain direction, right?
I can do that.
Now we're just going to use some triangles to be all of our limbs. So
Circles, squares, triangles. Okay.
this can be maybe just a skinny long triangle. Another one out there.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Another one here to be one arm.
Boy, a skinny long triangle makes all the difference.
And another one to be our other arm. You don't have to do this part, but this is something that will be really helpful for me as I want my character to sort of be facing this direction. So I'm going to create some guidelines across the face. I want this to be the horizontal line across the center of my character's face, and then I'm going to create a vertical line that's going to be going down the center of their face. So now I have these lines that help it seem like my character is facing this direction. I'm going to add in my features, so I know that one hand is going to go there. Is it giving free and fun yet?
It's giving joy vibes.
Okay.
Totally joy vibes.
So I have another triangle here to be 1 foot and another triangle here to be another foot. I'm going to give my character a top, and my favorite part is adding a big poofy skirt. And the way I add the skirt is with a squiggly line. And I connect all those lines with the center band that I created.
Big poofy.
So I'm going to start going over top of this with my black pencil so you can see all of my favorite lines. Now, you might do all of that in pencil and then erase some of those sketch marks, but I like to see all the sketchy parts. So I know now that I can make my outlines here. Now my guidelines are here to help me know where the facial features are gonna go. So I know that the eyes are gonna sit across this horizontal line. Now my character has her eyes closed, but you can open her eyes as well. My eyebrows, my nose is gonna go right there. My mouth is gonna go right here. Her ear is going to start on that same line.
Right.
So I can put that there. And then I can do all the fun parts, adding in the color, the texture, and the hair. So now that I've done all of that work at the beginning with my brown lines, I can go back in and add the little details. So I want her dress, her skirt here to look like poofy tulle from a tutu, so I can add in a bunch of extra lines, make it look like it's extra fluffy. And I went in and gave some definition to her legs, and I added in some ballet slippers. And honestly, I just keep working at it until it feels right. You can add in shadow if you want. You can add in color.
She looks so happy.
I feel like she's got a spotlight on her. Like she's center stage at the ballet. This is her moment. So if you wanted to, you could take your time now to add some color. I'm just gonna fill in some of this, but it's not necessary. My colors are blending a little bit.
So we've got the wardrobe coming now. Love that. Okay, I'm going to use a pink if I may.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay. I'm just trying to capture movement, feeling, emotion, and that's what the story in Big is about. The illustrations are there to sort of express what the character is feeling. You can sign it.
Okay.
If you make art, that means you're an artist. So we are all artists and we can all sign our work.
That was like magic. I mean, we started with a blank piece of paper. Now we have these beautiful dancers in their tutu. I mean, really, really magical.
I agree. I love that drawing. Can feel like magic. I have another demonstration to show you. Do you want to see how I might draw a face with some simple shapes and letters?
Yes.
Okay. We just did a very advanced character, but I want to show you the base of the characters from Little Leaders, Little Dreamers, and Little Legends, because they all have pretty much the same face. And I wanted to create something that was really simple. So we can start with a circle for our head, and you can do this pretty large on the page. It doesn't need to be a perfect circle. Again, I like this one to be kind of smushed, like if you had a hamburger and you're supposed to, smush it down a little bit. Maybe it's sort of a cross between a circle and a square. And I'm using a lot of little lines here. I'm not going in and trying to draw it perfectly in one go. I like the technique of using little strokes.
Just kind of inching as we go.
Yeah, to feel it out.
All right, it's looking kind of hamburgery.
I feel like mine's the shape of a nice big hamburger. Okay. So I have my face, and slightly around the middle is where I'm going to start with my eyes. So I'm going to use a shape that we all know how to draw. I'm going to use the letter C here to be all the facial features here.
Okay, C is for creative.
Now my C doesn't need to be perfect. It actually can be kind of lazy, actually.
Okay.
Now I'm going to take that C and roll it down onto its belly, or maybe on its back. So we're going to start with one C here to be one eye, and we're going to do another C here to
lazy
match.
C, got it.
And that's another eye. We're gonna flip that shape upside down to be some eyebrows. And I'm gonna do a nice small one in the center to be a nose. And I'm gonna flip it one more time and do a nice big one here to be a smile. With just those few things, now we have a face. So this is the base of all of the faces in Little Leaders, Little Dreamers, Little Legends, and from this shape we can use hairstyles and makeup or all kinds of different things to turn it into somebody. I used people in history, but maybe you want to think about who you might want to turn it into. So I can walk you through how we might add some hair or other things.
Okay.
Who do you think you might want to draw? I'm actually going to draw you, Andrea.
Oh, and I was going to draw you.
We can keep going with our C's, and we can add ears to our faces. So I'm going to add one more C here and another C here.
Okay.
And I can already tell you have some cool accessories. You have some nice big earrings. I'm going to add your earrings to my character.
And you have some beautiful earrings. Okay, so I'm going to do some small ones. The Vashti Harrison earrings.
I'm going to use the side of my pencil here to draw some color and some texture because you have a little blush on your cheeks there.
Yep, I'm going to follow your lead.
So you can use the side of your crayon and give a little bit of light texture. You have eyelashes, really beautiful eyelashes, so I can add some little C's to be my eyelashes. I love your short haircut, so I'm just gonna add in a little bit of color and texture here.
And I love your braids, so I'm gonna do that.
And I love to add in little bits on the side to just give the impression of where the hair direction is going. So you could do that. You can add some more C's. Or they could be more textured like this. You could go in with your color. You could add in all the things that make this character or this person themselves.
Let's get the black, because you have really fluttery, beautiful eyelashes.
A little impression here of your turtleneck.
And I will add your blouse.
And right here at the top of all of the pages, I put the person's name. So I'm gonna write your name.
And I'm gonna write
Andrea.
yours.
And I'm gonna add some of my favorite things, some stars.
Some stars. I'm gonna add hearts.
Okay.
Because my heart is feeling happy right now.
I like to add my little magical stars because it is my magic trick to turn C's into a face and stick figures and triangles and squares and circles into characters.
Vashti, how did I do?
I think you did amazing. That looks like me.
And you know what? That looks like me. Vashti, that was so much fun. I think our viewers had a lot of fun watching and maybe drawing along. We have some questions coming in. If only one crayon was left in the box, what color would you want it to be?
I love all colors equally, but I think brown is probably my favorite at the moment. I feel like it's the most versatile color for drawing bodies and trees and people and faces.
It's a pretty color.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite place to draw?
I do love drawing most places. I like to keep a little sketchbook with me at all times in case an idea comes to me. But I think my favorite place to draw is at my parents' house, the house that I grew up in. Where that's a place where I feel as creative as can be.
Have you ever drawn your pets? Do you have pets?
I do. I have a cat named Sky. I am not very good at drawing animals. It is something that I want to practice more and get better at. But every once in a while, I do get the opportunity to draw animals in some of the books that I illustrate. I worked on a book called Hair Love, and there's a cat that shows up a lot in that book. and I got to put in a lot of the personality of my cat Sky into the cat in that book named Rocky.
Vashti, do you like drawing better or writing?
Drawing will always be my first love, and I sort of mentioned this before. Sometimes I think drawing can be a lot like writing. It can be a way to express ideas, and it is through my drawing, through my doodling, that ideas will come to me, and I'll keep developing them, sometimes through my thumbnail drawings, my little bitty drawings, and that's where the seeds of a story might begin.
How do you decide what picture to draw in a picture book?
As an illustrator, you can approach a drawing from many different ways, but most of the time I'm thinking about a few different things. Will my drawing communicate what the text is on the page? Will it engage with a reader? Will it engage with a young reader? Will this be a good way to represent how a kid might be interested in seeing this story? So I do a lot of sketches. You saw all of the sketches and the versions I did for Big. I don't always stick with my first idea. You can definitely try again, and that is very much a part of the process of being an illustrator, is drawing and redrawing.
Vashti Harrison, thank you so much for being our guest and for inspiring us to be fearlessly creative.
Thank you so much, Andrea. It was a pleasure to be here.
Viewers, we can't wait to see what you've drawn. Please use #TheBigPictureLive to share your art with us. See you next time.